Kamen Rider, Kamen Rider, Kamen Rider, Kamen Rider, Kamen Rider time.
Wrong one. Yo. Oh. Hello. Can you? I guess it's good.
Yeah, shouldn't you be the top one?
Just gotta prop it. Yeah. Slide up a little bit. Doing the shot. Yes. Okay, we good.
All right, y'all. So, what is going on? It is us, the Ryder Brothers, once again. I am joining Master Zen,
Yo,
Urban Ninja, and we have a new person,
a special guest.
special guest.
Very special guest.
Very special guest.
Right now, his leg is showing, but
Oh.
this is the man here.
Hey yo. Hey yo. That was fucking classic. Holy shit. That was great.
Okay, I know it's been a minute since we've done this, but have no fear, we're back.
Yeah, we've been working.
We've been working. Shit has been happening.
Anyway. I'm part of this team too, you know.
Anyway, we're continuing with History of Kamen Rider. And the next one is one that I'm not really enthused by. I know this is a big surprise for all of y'all, but I'm going to say this right now. I am iffy on Hibiki.
Really? I thought it was pretty good.
I mean, it was, in my opinion, it was in the first half, but then when the second opening came around, it just fell off for me. It just fell off for me, and for my own reason.
For me, I like the music and the costumes. That was it.
Yeah.
For me, it was it was the second rider with the trumpet. That was the one that got it for me. So I was like,
I mean, personally, I liked all of them with the significant instruments that they had. It was just like the story just went downhill after the second season started.
Wasn't it like, I think this was the one where they had like, I think it was one of the movies where they had like hella random people become the Oni. They're called Onis, right?
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. So I was just like, yo, who are all these people? Like, cause I know it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 6 or 7 original riders. They're not even really riders. They're technically like Onis, technically. So they're not actually like.
Nigga, in the Heisei era, every rider was close to a monster anyway, because the power came from the monster.
Technically, so. Although, they're Onis, but, you know, whatever. I don't know.
Fix his hair.
I don't know shit.
But yeah, without further ado, let's just get started with this.
Let's go.
Let's go. Oh yes, this is done by Marcosatsu. Shout out to him.
Again.
We love you in the most non-gay way possible.
Every once in a while comes along something I'd call a masterpiece. Power Rangers RPM, Fallout New Vegas, the masterpiece set for Magic the Gathering. Each of these subjects in media they have their flaws, whether it be inconsistent writing, an overstayed welcome, or happenings behind the scenes. And yet, I wouldn't hesitate to call each of these a masterpiece. I wouldn't hesitate. That's the beauty of having an opinion. Everyone has a voice in saying something, and at the end of the day, the only opinion that should matter is yours. I've never been this anecdotal before, so there must be a reason for it. In any other history of Kamen Rider, I'd be talking about episode 1 after the second opening sentence. However, you're gonna notice a theming of change and maturity throughout this video, starting with this opening narration. As History of Blade had more of a focus on talking about the story, what I'm going to get into here is more of my personal thoughts than before. I believe this season deserves to have a lot said about it, and hopefully you're okay with that. I've mentioned in the previous video that Kamen Rider Blade had really tough production issues, struggling in viewership and facing harsh criticism in its first half. The second half picked up and has what I considered the best ending in any Toku season. But it was too late. Blade had changed, but it wasn't enough. Toei needs to have something different in the next season. Unfortunately, that season didn't start with Kamen Rider. Or did it? Henshin Ninja Adachi is a creation of the late Shotaro Ishinomori. A reboot of it was under consideration to come after Blade, but within early production, Toei decided to keep it connected with the Kamen Rider name. This reboot was originally going to be called Henshin Ninja Adachi Prologue, Messenger of Shikigami. Then it got changed to the Hibiki Hero, which then became Omegeki Rider, and finally Kamen Rider Hibiki. It was a Kamen Rider show. In other ways, it was already a Rider
That would've been hard, though.
where the reboot came from Tara's. We don't have confirmation on if Hibiki was just a reboot or a Rider show from the start, so these are just rumors. Not even I know if there's some truth in this, but it does seem plausible as we'll see in what happens later. For now, keep this question in mind. What makes a Kamen Rider show a Kamen Rider show?
Right.
Hibiki is a different kind of season, as you can see with this.
Oh God.
Maybe a bit too different for some. Following Ishinomoto's last Twitch, this is how the show starts, by the way. This is on Asano.
I haven't seen this in so
He's gonna
long.
visit family with his mom on Yaku Island.
Yeah, it's this kid that bothers me, and like that's the whole thing with this whole series. It wasn't even the writer that I had a problem with. It was the story about this normal ass kid that just wanted to be a normal ass kid.
But
Right.
found his way to Hibiki.
But found his way to Hibiki, wasted everyone's time because at first he wanted to be like Hibiki, then he did it. Then he said he wanted to be part of like him again, and then he finally said no, I'm gonna do my own thing. You wasted everyone's time, and especially mine.
Well, kind of, they made it up in Zio.
Because
they brought him back in Zio.
Yeah, because they brought him back, and he was like, "Yeah, I want to," but he was like a white Hibiki. He wasn't even like the regular one here. He was like a cleansed one or something like that. It was something weird like that.
Yeah, he was a weaker version of Hibiki.
His suit was white instead of it being like red and
No,
black.
that was the other character that really wanted to be like Hibiki.
No, it was that kid.
No, it was
Zio.
two different kids. The one kid was the one that Hibiki actually liked. The other one was the asshole that always wanted to show off.
Oh, okay. Now I'm starting to remember.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, I got you.
I'm sorry.
That was the kid that really pissed. Both of them pissed me off.
Oh, because that was the one that became the white Hibiki, right?
Yes.
That's right. Okay, I remember.
Yes.
All right, we good.
I know who y'all talking, and I know it was that motherfucker. I hated him. Oh my god, I hated him.
No rap.
I'm so angry. It's okay, Joe. Kinda.
No, it's not.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. We get ice cream.
Oh, fucking ice cream! Well, I want to rip shit apart, but I don't know ice cream.
On their way there, Asamu notices a strange man sing about dolphins. Once on the island, the man uses a wired phone to call Tachibana's sweet shop, run by the Tachibana sisters, Hinaka and Kasumi. No relation to Tachibana-san. Asamu and his cousin go sightseeing in the forest when the man joins them.
No relation.
He introduces himself as Hibiki. Just Hibiki.
You only have one
Apparently, he's well trained. Two human-like figures in robes attacks them, so Hibiki takes out a tuning fork, hits it against a tree, and we see a sigil on his forehead, having Hibiki transform into Hibiki.
Then here's the other problem. Here's the other problem that it's not a problem, but to me it's a what's it called? A pet peeve. Why don't you say henshin when you transform?
I didn't mind that honestly in this series because of the musical thing behind it. So when they do the tuning fork, I definitely didn't mind that at all. And even with the one I think he's gonna talk about that one next, Ibuki, I think it is.
Yes, Ibuki.
With the whistle, which is like the best part.
It was. You're right. It was the whistle.
Because his weapon was a
the foghorn thing.
Yeah.
Not foghorn. What do you call it? Trumpet? Yeah, trumpet.
Who said the foghorn?
I'm
like
not the smartest man, but I got it.
But yeah, that's my. They're like, why don't y'all say henshin? You're a Kamen Rider show.
I think they were. I think if I read correctly, when they were developing this, they didn't want it. They wanted it to be a separate Kamen Rider series, kind of like Amazon.
No.
Shut up, ambulance!
Damn. No rap.
Sorry about that. We have a lot of ambulances here in the city. But anyway,
they said in the beginning it was supposed to actually be something different before it ever got to Kamen Rider.
That's how. And Amazon's was different too. They wanted because Amazon they don't say henshin, they say Amazon.
Yeah, but at least it was a calling of a transformation, not.
Yeah.
But
Technically, you can hit it on anything as long as it rings.
it's a tuning fork. Well, one is a tuning fork. Everything else, well, 1, 2, 1.
There were 3 tuning forks, though.
No, because one
in the movie there were 3.
Yeah, it was 3. The only tuning fork is Hibiki. Everybody else is either guitar, there's trumpet. I think there's one more.
A guitar, trumpet, whistle, and
I think that's it.
That's it.
And then everything else is a tuning fork.
The figures also transform into monsters who are part of our villain group of the season called Makamo. And that's about it for the episode. Doesn't seem like very much, huh? Let's break it down. The Kamen Riders and Kamen Rider Hibiki aren't called Kamen Riders. They're Oni, which translate to Japanese demons. The Makamo are a general term for countryside demons. They come in pairs, a doji and a hime, along with their child who are giant monsters, or kaiju. The doji and hime are created by cloaked figures called the Black Puppet and White Puppet.
Yeah, I couldn't remember all that.
I'm keeping things more vague and simple than I usually do. It's really difficult for me to discuss Hibiki in the way people are used to, so please understand that for the sake of writing the script, I'm gonna need to dive way deeper while skipping quite a bit at the same time. I said that I kept things more simple, but that's mainly because Kamen Rider Hibiki is simple, at least on the outside. Check out these visuals. A school band is playing. Asuma is watching with interest through a window. Normally, it'd be a couple of establishing shots, nothing special, but this scene is taking its time. A few seconds feels like minutes. Then a cymbal is dropped. Asuma hits the window. Asuma's dream was to be in a brass band as a drummer, so seeing someone mess up in a role he wants annoys him. Yeah, I talked a bit about something that only lasts some minutes, and this is only a minor piece from the opening of the show that happens right after the musical number, and there's still more. On Yaku Island, Asumu has dinner with his family, though we figure that something is wrong. His family is having a good time, but Asumu is
straight
quiet.
bottles, they pouring up.
Literally.
Then there's a visual cue of the colors fading away. Not to have an artsy decision for the audience, but to actually atmosphere and anxiety that Asumu is feeling. In another episode, Kasumi thinks that Hibiki revealing he's an Oni to Asumu is a mistake, considering Asumu is already under pressure in school and could hurt his mental health, especially before exams. It explains why Asumu has been anxious around his introduction to now. It may seem like I'm reaching or looking at this too deeply, but no. This is up front for us to see, just one notch below what's shown on the quote-unquote outside. There's one moment where Asumu finds him on some rocks and they share sunrise, ending with Hibiki giving Asumu a compass. Take this as a sign of things to come. As a side note, there's a juxtaposition between the theming of Hibiki and visuals when it comes to the kaiju. We have a nice scene with the sunrise, and in the same episode we have a fight with the CGI spider cabin. Though we do get one of the coolest finishers I've seen with the power of music. Afterwards, we have a helmetless Hibiki. I say helmetless, but Oni forms are supposed to be how they're shown without masks or helmet, basically like organic monsters, so I guess it's a faceless Hibiki. Either way, this is just another difference from past seasons, and it's great. Following a few episodes, we're introduced to more characters. Ichiro Tachibana, who's the father of Kasumi and Hinaka. Other characters I've talked about briefly, such as Zanki and Ibuki. We do get to see Ibuki soon as he delivers something to Hibiki, though Ibuki is confused to what Asumu's relationship with Hibiki is, asking if he's a pupil or if he has anything to do with Takeshi, the organization that supports the Oni. Our proper introduction to Ibuki is in the next episode where he transforms into his Oni form. A young girl watches him fight the Makamo, and he acknowledges her as Akira. Oni camp out in the wild in order to find Makamo, almost like a hunt. Oni also have disciples, or you can call them pupils, followers, supporters, however you want to translate it. Disciples train under the Oni to eventually
that's what that stupid kid was supposed to be.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the successor of
We see
Hibiki.
2 men transform to fight Makamo. They are Zanki and his supporter, Toriyama. After the battle, Zanki considers retiring because all the fighting is putting a strain on his body. However, Toriyama doesn't feel confident because he's been relying on Zanki to be there for him. Zanki tells him to trust in himself more, become more independent without Zanki's teaching, even owning up to mistakes. Toriyama gets a Makamo signal, so he's gonna have his debut as a lone Oni. Toriyama successfully fights them off. Zanki congratulates him on a job well done, and the name Zanki will be passed on to him.
And that's another thing about this whole thing. So his predecessor, that man right there.
I like how you got got his face frozen crazy.
It's not like he can't complete the missions on his own. He can.
Right.
He can fight by himself. Like he said, it's his confidence that gets in the fucking way. It gets in the way of him of being an Oni. It gets in the way of him talking to the girl he likes and marrying her. He just doesn't have any confidence in himself, and that always pissed me the hell off because you have all of this stuff going for you,
right?
And you don't think you deserve it.
So my question is, how did he get picked to be an Oni then?
Or just people, basically.
Yeah,
That's
how
what
did he get picked to do that?
I don't know.
Probably saw something in him.
I mean,
Like
hey,
when you're a master, you look for people that you want to pass on your knowledge to.
right?
People who have something that no one else has.
What the fuck he got besides confidence? He doesn't have anything.
Yeah, he must have something in order to be able to pass down the engine.
Yeah, he's got to have something in his head.
Money
Like,
or something. I don't know.
Money. Yeah.
What was that from? A fucking commercial? Or something?
Nah, a song actually.
Lost on?
Yeah.
So we're watching E3 on top of.
But like even after spoiler alert, even after his master dies, he still doesn't feel as though he's up to the task. And I'm like, yes, the fuck you are.
Oh, he did die, didn't he? That's
Yeah,
why
like
he came along
your
to
master
fight everybody.
has all kinds of faith in you to do what you need to do what you were trained to do.
So put on the big boy pants.
Yeah, put on the big boys bands and grow up. You can do it.
Or just play a solo and pretend you're playing against a.
So what's your opinion?
Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Guitar Hero.
It's
for real.
like he has to have some innate potential in him, I guess. If he's just like, hey, I'm sitting up here, it's taking a strain on my body. I can't do this anymore. Like, and then I have this guy who's like, I'm passing the torch off to, basically, like some Olympic runner or whatever. So it's like, I guess he needs to see like the innate power in himself or something of the sort, or maybe go on some kind of weird quest. I don't know.
Maybe.
Like,
I mean, he goes through trials and everything, but it's not like he's not stupid. Like he's stupid.
not like he's
He's a smart individual.
Just not brave.
Just not brave, but his master believes in him. The girl that he likes not only likes him but believes in him. So it's like, what's your problem?
Real quick, isn't there one more guitar user that's Oni? I think it's one more, right? It's one more, because I think there's one more guitar picky thing that becomes an Oni.
I think that's a movie.
That's a movie exclusive.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind that.
Because
That's
most
movie
of the
exclusive.
most of the other Hibiki writers are mostly from specials or movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Oni, by the way. Special shit.
Toriyama says he wants a different name to be independent. Zanki tells him to only transform his face because Toriyama is naked. Zanki says that Toriyama should be called Todoroki just because it sounds similar to his name. Toriyama, now Todoroki, reluctantly accepts. Summertime comes, causing the Makumo to get stronger because of their ties to Japanese mythology and how yokai typically appear more during this time. The only
Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, yeah.
There's a story about that. Because they actually doing Japanese folklore with music.
Up next on the Sakurai channel, more videos talking about the lore of Japan. It's happening.
By yourself, I'm working.
Japanese.
It's by myself, mother trucker.
Basically, a whole bunch of Japanese stories.
Yeah. Yeah, well, actually, most of these the Rider series is
It's based
some of
on
them are
a lot of
based-
Japanese stories.
Most of these are based on like folklore and all that too.
Yeah.
So
He also trained, though Hibiki has trained enough that during a battle, he
It's a big
charges
ass
up his
drum.
technique and bursts into flames, becoming Hibiki Kurenai. Then we start reaching the end with episode 29, Shining Boy. After a series of events, everyone we know regroups at Tachibana's sweet shop. Asumu's mom, Akira, Ichiro, Zanki, Naka, Kasumi, Todoroki, Ibuki, Hibiki, and Asumu.
God
It's
damn.
the end of what I call a masterpiece. Kamen Rider Hibiki's first half. But wait, you say, what about the rest? We'll get to that in a bit. For as little as I talked about the story, let me explain why I call this first half a masterpiece. Hibiki is a special kind of show. It's nothing like any other Rider season that came before. In this first part, there's no giant entity that wants to destroy Japan. It's a story of a boy growing up, going through struggles that we've all had, along with the maturity and uncertainty of the people around you. As I talked about before, Osamu is a student that's about to enter high school. He specifically wants to go to a school named Jonan, because he wants to play music there. It was brought up that Osamu knowing about Oni might affect his mental health, but there's more to it than that. Osamu has gotten bullied, he's still very anxious, and still feels lost in the world. The only comfort he gets is from hanging out with Hibiki, who is very easygoing and almost being the exact opposite of Osamu. After some words of encouragement to train hard, Osamu studies enough to actually get accepted into Jonan. However, he's still a nervous boy with his heart in the right place. During one moment on a train, he notices a pregnant lady standing while he's sitting. Osamu feels awkward. He knows he should give up his seat, and is about to, until Akira does. In another moment of weakness, Osamu witnesses a young couple shoplift at a bookstore.
Yeah, he's
and gets
hesitant.
caught up in the middle.
He's
The boy
very
fights
hesitant.
him and it scars Osamu mentally, since we see Osamu have flashbacks to that moment. This wasn't Osamu's fault, but he continues to live through it as best as he can. In a strangely real scene, Hibiki and
Damn,
Osamu
he
have
tried to do the
met
right
each
thing, but
other.
somebody fucked him up.
During their talk, Osamu kept looking at his side. A woman is standing there and Osamu was staring at her chest. I'll let you piece all that together.
First of all, my
I feel that young man.
my guy.
No.
The titties weren't even that big, so
no.
so you could just.
Really
It wasn't all that.
Really back.
No,
No.
it's Japanese standards. They have different standards than us. The
They do.
quality of
They
video.
do.
Have you seen the anime?
Have you seen the anime?
Nah, I seen their hentai.
My man, that's right. Yeah, yeah,
I've been there.
yeah. You sit back down, motherfucker.
People disgust me.
No, we don't.
Oh God.
Nigga, like you haven't seen the hentai.
Exactly.
You right. Anyway, go ahead.
Hashtag Route 34 every day. But anyway,
I don't go that damn far. That's huge. I don't go that far. I've seen some very strange things.
but yeah,
Seen some things on Route 34, not that strange enough, you know what I'm saying?
my man, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
I want to hear shit.
I've seen it.
I want to hear shit.
Not the strange stuff.
Nah, fuck that.
But yeah, anyway.
That's gonna be the weirdest video that comes out.
You know the hentai too? I'm surprised. Wait a minute. Wait a fucking second. It's not we did the talk.
Hentai will still come on the Patreon.
Yo, stop! What you mean? What you mean?
Can't say I've been that far. Can't say I've been on
We getting banged tomorrow.
tomorrow.
We getting banged.
But yeah, I honestly I do feel bad for the kid. It's just that in the second part, it drags on too long and about what he wants to do.
But didn't
We've
you
already
kinda get that in the first
we already
half?
got that in the first half. So
Yeah.
like, what's the deal?
I guess what they're doing is trying to like.
Well, in the first half, it's more like him trying to get there. He never changed in the first half. He's still the same.
Right.
The only thing that changed was that him actually focusing and getting into school. Once he got into school and probably into the drum group, that's
He's
it.
kind of like.
There's nothing else for him to do. He hasn't changed his personality at all.
Which is kind of why it fits in the Zio series when he actually became Hibiki.
I told you
Wrong
that's the
Alright,
wrong
I was
person.
fucked.
You dingo wingos.
No. I gotta say this. Insult me better, please. You can do better than that. Insult me better than that. What is a dingo wingo?
Your intelligence.
You shut the fuck up. Anyway. Dingo wingo. Fucking play the goddamn shit.
It's also not just Osamu who has growth. I briefly said that Todoroki wants to become independent since he relies on Zanki. After officially becoming Todoroki, he plays the guitar after every battle. Ichiro and Zanki thought it was weird to do it since Zanki didn't teach him that way. Zanki says it's not a bad thing, just different. It's Todoroki's way of being an Oni. Episode 28 and 29 is basically the peak of Osamu's growth.
Also, the guy that plays
Hibiki
Zanki,
he's
been on like
tied
8
over the
series
shop
of
with
Kamen
him.
Rider too.
After some time, Hibiki gives Osamu some advice.
What, you
There
hating?
are clear
No.
days, and there are
He's a
rainy
fucking
days.
legend is what he is.
Osamu lost his phone. Hibiki lost his hat. But being alive isn't all about loss. That's it.
The other night.
That's all he says.
I guess it's just me
Nothing
then.
more, nothing less.
This is a good
In
game.
parallel, Osamu's mom gives the audience some advice too. When you get into society, it'll be tough. Life is like falling, getting up. It repeats, so you
Pause
should
real
train.
quick.
Be well.
Is it me or is everybody's neck long today?
Is everybody's neck long today?
Everybody's neck is just like extremely long today.
So context, the reason why he said that is because we were watching the E3 live for Nintendo, and after that there were these two Caucasian women who had extremely long necks.
You're like giraffes, right?
And for some reason that just caught my eye the most, and I couldn't stop talking about it. So that's why he's saying that.
ASMR. Thumbs up for ASMR. Anyway, go
Let's
ahead.
continue.
Train, like Hibiki, or train hard, like Asumu. A more personal reason why I love the first half so much is because I truly
that was your
connect
computer. I
with
thought that was
Asumu.
mine.
It's not like I know a superhero in real life, but I can relate to almost everything about him, whether it be through what we learn, the people we associate with, or even being hospitalized for the same thing. I can connect with Asumu and still understand Hibiki's distant advice, since I've been told similar things from similar figures. These are just small examples, as this first part is full of genuine moments, and that's not even counting artistic decisions or the small details, such as having kanji flash on screen, or how
I like that
really
moment.
take their time to immerse you in a teaching moment, or the beautiful forest scenery that complement the gorgeous Oni suits, or how Todoroki and Ibuki are oblivious to the Tachibana Citro's advances without being really in your face about a love story, or the amazing original soundtrack, or how the Oni constantly work together with Takeshi both in and out of their duties, or the banter between the Oni after a battle, or minor scenes of atmosphere with Asumu and Hibiki, or how everyone has some sort of struggle, big and small, but still have a smile on their face to not make their friends worry. I just love Hibiki so much. This half can do more than what previous seasons have failed to do for me.
Yeah.
I can connect with every character, every challenge they have to overcome, every struggle, every smile, every chance to learn, and I don't need to become an Oni to understand. This is why Kamen Rider Hibiki's first half is a masterpiece to me. I know some people won't see what I do.
Oh, I
You know
see it.
what? That's fine, and I'll keep loving it as not only my favorite toku show of all time, but as my favorite show, period.
Cause I can understand. I understand. Like I said before, the first half was just nice. If the music was fine, the story was fine, the sound, yes, all the characters were fine. The three Onis, the three main Onis were great. They all had different personalities. The women were thirsty as hell about them. The kid was alright.
The women were thirsty as hell.
Cause they were. Every chance they got, they tried to courtship these three Oni,
Yeah.
and it was not buying it for a minute. They was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
I mean, well, technically they're technically like masters, right? So they weren't really focused on that. They've been training.
They
to be
weren't
Onis
focused
their
on
whole
getting.
life.
They were not focused on the poom poom. They were focused on on being Oni.
Yeah, they're focused on being a
The poom poom is what got me.
Is that what you call it?
I don't know what we call vagina anymore these days. I'm
The
too
poom
old.
poom, the cookie, the
Cookie.
That's new.
the Jesus dough, the
Jesus dough.
So new.
the cuckoo.
The cool. Poom poom. The cool. What's next? The moo moo.
That's it.
Jesus Christ!
Shit.
I quit.
Oh man. Yeah.
Let's continue.
Please.
The monkey's paw.
Alright,
Monkey's
Mr. Get on with it.
Unbelievable, unfathomable, inconceivable,
Inconceivable.
automatopoeia. I don't follow.
Onomatopoeia.
Well, that too. They can call that too.
I like that.
Yes, we continue.
So it's not really sad, ain't me?
The hairy troll.
As far as
But then,
Before I get to the rest, I'd like to quickly shout out this Reddit post by Halloween and Merlin. It's a good read about someone else's passionate opinion that specifically has to do with the retool. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. Now let's get back to it. Episodes always start with a quick recap from Asumu, which I'm surprised hasn't
Big
become a
ass
meme.
animals.
It's Orewa
Right.
Azachi Asumu before Orewa Tenkuchi Takaru became a thing. Episode 30 doesn't have that. We see Asumu biking home when a random boy challenged
Yeah,
him to
y'all saw him.
fairly-
Y'all saw this
Yeah,
motherfucker.
that's one we
oh,
saw.
that's what became Oni.
This annoying little shitbag. I hated him. I hate him to this very day. He did not deserve to be an Oni because he bitched and whined the whole time.
Damn.
The whole time, just bitched and whined.
Actually,
why can't I be this? Why don't you call me? Why don't you rely on me? Why don't you talk to me more? I'm the one that wants to be an Oni. It's me. That's all he ever did.
And it's funny you mention that because I remember now in the episode of Zio, he did the same thing.
That's what I'm saying.
He cried pretty much the whole episode. And at the very end, he became Hibiki. The white version, though, but you know.
No, he became real Hibiki because they gave him a rider watch and he brushed it and he turned Hibiki.
Oh, okay.
Cried the whole time.
Because I was like, who is this random ass kid that's Hibiki now? What the hell? And then that's dude
was annoying as fuck. Nobody liked him. Nobody. I didn't like him.
You don't like nobody without titties. Wait, what?
I mean that is true.
Awful.
I mean, I didn't lie to him, did I?
No.
You didn't.
No, but you're still awful.
Yeah, he's strong. Asumu is slow to understand, but they do race, and Asumu moves out of the way to not hit a dog, although the other boy is happy to win anyway. The boy is a new student, Kirya. He immediately acts like a rival towards everyone and even wants to challenge the teacher. Kirya brings in a caterer for lunch, knows how to play in the school band, beats others at board games, and can draw manga. He then calls Asumu a boring person. Hibiki
like, where did you get off, bitch?
I threw the race to save a dog.
Later,
I was trying to do the right thing.
Within the city, and Kirya begins to see his father in Hibiki.
Fuck out of here.
But the thing is, this isn't Hibiki. No, I don't mean in the story sense that we had a fake Hibiki. I mean in the way that this show is not what Kamen Rider Hibiki is supposed to be. Hibiki, the character, never gave direct advice of, hey, do this. He's a mentor type without realizing it, so he often just told others to train hard while training hard himself. It's why he got Kurenai form, because he lived the way he taught. Asumu didn't need a rival, he was already growing and learning without an opposite person trying to stop him. Even the Makamo seem off. We very rarely, if ever, see them in the city.
Everything fell off in the second season.
It didn't take place in a forest or a cave. The child of the Doji and Hime were usually CGI kaiju, and it was awesome. If really dated, I just appreciated that they tried. Sometimes we got powered up Makamo, but this is out there, especially within Hibiki's world. The first thing I thought when I saw this Makamo was, it's a monster of the week. That's pretty much what earlier kaiju were too, but I was immersed enough that I didn't question it. We later get super versions of the Doji and Hime, yet they weren't necessary either. When I wrote down my notes, I accidentally wrote that a later episode was when things would change. But right here, the first frame of episode 29 was when I noticed that something was off. This is new footage, not from a recap. The colors seem brighter and it just feels wrong. I said out loud, this isn't Hibiki. It no longer feels special. There's no heart. Characters aren't themselves and the ongoing stories aren't what we started with. Episode 31 has Kirya push Asumu to find his own father. When Asumu asks Hibiki for advice, Hibiki tells him to do it and to find answers. The thing is, this show wasn't about answers.
Right.
It may have been simple, but didn't treat the audience like children, even if they were. The show gave you an obstacle and allowed the characters, an extension you, to figure it out yourself. Asumu eventually finds his father, but only from a distance and never interacts with him. None of this is ever brought up again. Asumu doesn't learn anything. He doesn't grow. What happened? Where did the uniqueness of Hibiki go? Despite Hibiki being a critical success, being loved by basically everyone, it didn't do well in merchandising, having some of the worst sales figure in Kamen Rider. The previous season, Blade, already had changed. If Hibiki didn't do well immediately, then it would have to change even sooner. Hibiki's first half had a similar production staff as Kuga, which would explain quite a bit. The person helming it all was Shigenori Takatera. His team is what made Hibiki so special, but then the changes came, with Shinichiro Shirakura at the top, along with everyone's favorite writer, Toshiki Inoue. And hey, even Shoji Yonemura felt like putting his fingerprint on here. Fans and critics didn't like the retool, and the new staff even less.
Also, basically mid-series they just changed the staff and all.
That's what I'm saying. Second season just fell the fuck off.
But first, Hibiki gets a new power-up because we need those brand new toys. And the gimmick of the season, the disc animals, are attached to the form, so buy those too. He's given this sword, the armed saber, by one of Takeshi's weapon developers, who was never brought up before and never will again. He's played by Hibiki's singer, Akira Fuse, and the character is really annoying. Although there's this one cute scene where Hibiki asks him to sing another song.
Hit that man with a paddle.
He'll sing Shonen Yo. Actually, let's get to that. Hibiki's opening theme is an instrumental.
And it's a beautiful instrumental. It's beautiful!
It's good.
Nice.
Very good. The music speaks for itself. When the retool came, we got another theme.
Oh, I'm gonna cut it out. I hate it!
And it's mediocre.
Oh, no.
I mean, I like it. I really do.
No, I hate it.
No, give me the first one back.
More important,
Give me the first one.
we have an
I don't want
ending
old man
to
singing.
Shonen Yo.
Give me the first one back.
Whoa!
No, wait, hang on.
This is one of my favorite songs of all time. It's a song about moving forward, just
Not
like
bad.
Asumu is doing in Hibiki. There are rainy days, but keep going. It'll get better. I think it works better as a main theme. In fact, it is considered a main theme as the one Hibiki song when shown in a lineup of main writer themes. With Shonen Yo being gone, so is the Hibiki we knew. But there's still more, as we're only at the halfway point. As it goes with writer seasons, we got a movie, Hibiki and the Seven Senki.
I loved it.
Which take place
I loved it.
in era. Young girls are sacrificed to the Makamo, so
Oh, this is one of all the
Yeah, I loved it.
gathering the Oni, and it's pretty entertaining. The exclusive writers, Kabuki, Toki, Nishiki, Habataki,
Kabuki
and
was my
Karameshi
dog. I
are
don't
great
care.
for only having a small amount of screen time. The main thing to point out is that it's an origin story of Takeshi and the Oni supporters. If I still made everything right with videos, then this movie would break a record as one of my favorites. A small part of the movie takes place in the modern day, but it's considered non-canon because it shows a different way Hibiki got the armed saber. Though honestly, I prefer how he got it in the movie. By the way, the Seven Senki can be considered a transition point
How is
between
it
Hibiki's
straight
first
to
and
his
second
mouth?
part. Since the staff for the second
One
half
piece
worked on
is
this,
gone.
but you can tell that there's still elements from the first part. Moving on,
Yeah,
we
literally.
have a few big points until the end. In episode 34, we have Todoroki and Hinaka with relationship troubles. Because look, Todoroki is goofy and clumsy. In the first part, Todoroki was more unsure of himself rather than being outright clumsy. He's messed up a few times, but not to this point. Ibuki and Kasumi also have a small issue shoehorned in that has nothing to do with anything. Then later, Zaki brings up his old mentor that he never mentioned before, named Shuki.
Never
and Oni
mentioned
armor
before.
has been stolen.
Oh yeah, that's in the Heart
It was
League
Shuki.
came, yeah.
Since Inoue wrote this, I'm guessing she's sort of evil and will die. Oh wait, Shuki is bad, but sacrifices herself to kill a Makamo. Let's also retread an old character development, as Todoroki, gasp, doesn't want to be independent, so Zaki dies. Now that we're reaching the final episode, we need a big bad, so here's a few mentions of Orochi. Meanwhile, Kiri and Asumu want to become Hibiki's disciples, even though Asumu wasn't interested at all until Akira pushed him to do it. What are Akira and Ibuki doing? Nothing. Oh wait, Akira transformed for literally a minute, then never again. And the final battle is here. To seal Orochi, Hibiki must seal his relic, and that's it. 1 year later, everyone has a happy ending. Asumu decides to become a doctor instead of an Oni. Kiri as Hibiki's disciple. Who cares about the rest?
Huh?
The show sure doesn't. We do need a climax though. So Asumu's friend.
Doctor?
Yep. He became
Damn,
a
that was a lot.
He went.
In
He went
1
from being
year.
one guy to being like a whole ass doctor. How long does it take to go?
Wanted to be in. So let's recap. Wanted to be in high school. Wanted to be a part of the band he wanted to be a part of.
Yeah.
But still wanted to hang out with Hibiki.
Yeah, because he was the person who encouraged him.
Then decided wanted to be an Oni.
Because he was pushed into it.
Then decided to want to go back and do music.
He probably fell off.
And then a year later becomes a doctor.
That's a lot of stuff.
That is by far the most confusing ass kid I have ever seen.
But you can't say that he doesn't have his money straight.
My question is, how do you become a doctor in a year? Fuck that.
Yeah. Please type that in, my guy.
Yeah, because you can't become a doctor.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Unless the economy in Japan is different.
Unless they were just like, yo, we won't push you through.
And they cut out all the bullshit that regular people have to go to in order to get your doctorate and just make it 1 year.
Nah.
Good point.
Impossible. Can't do it in a year.
7 years. 4 to 7 years.
Oh no! So it's the same as over here.
Basically, yeah. He cheated, yo.
He cheated.
Either he cheated or he's smart as shit.
Or that organization helped him though.
Yeah.
Or
that organization ain't worried about making people doctors.
Wait, hang on. Now this is a stretch.
Maybe an only doctor.
Hang on. What? He's a demon. Get up. You fired.
They need doctors too.
Yeah.
You made me choke.
John, you fired.
You're fine.
Turn your gun in your badge. You're fired, sir. Everything. Clean your lockout.
Give me your 3rd anniversary pen. You don't need that either.
Your 3rd anniversary. You get a bunch of these things got laying around the office.
Yes.
Just give me your pants while you're at it. I mean, those are
Turn in your desk by tomorrow night.
your desk. A whole desk? You fucking walk in the office. I got your desk, sir. It's a whole desk.
I'll put it in front of the door. You want a desk?
I'll put that shit right outside.
A desk, though?
I'll put it right outside. I'm not lugging that shit. You crazy?
Nah, put it in my office. It's in front of y'all.
And while you do that, make sure all the paperwork that I gave you the 2 days ago was finished.
Oh, it will be. They say the same thing.
In the shredder, it's going in the shredder. Fuck that. That shit's going in the toilet.
Oh my god. This is just ridiculous.
A doctor in a year? That's news, my guy.
This is a nurse.
True,
No,
yeah.
but the way he was dressed, he was a doctor.
He had the white lab coat and all that.
Yeah, so he was a doctor.
Captured by a Makamo, the Oni go to help, and guess what? Kirya can become an Oni. Fun fact, this suit is a combination of suits that came from the original ending, where Kirya and Asumu both became Oni. Oh, well, it's not like they were writing at the last minute during the final fight. Oh wait, yes they did. They fight the Makamo, we find out that the Doji, Hime, and puppets were created by a man and woman called the Man and Woman. But that couple was also created by the real man and woman called the Real Man and Woman. Asumu passes out, then he wakes up and Hibiki watching the sunset, just like they did on Yako Island long ago, although that was a sunrise. Asumu quit being Hibiki's disciple in order to become more dependent. Hibiki says that Asumu is well trained and will always be his disciple. The end. Roll credits. Thanks, TV Nihon. I can't express how disappointed I am with Hibiki's second half. And you know what? I'm even a little mad at the outcome.
Do you now see my headache that I had?
Upset stomach.
This is ridiculous.
Diarrhea.
So he moves on with his life. He becomes a doctor, everything. Why the fuck are you in the battlefield?
He is friends.
Nurse.
The one kid that act like he had a problem with him didn't even want him to be there. In fact, in that second half, he tried everything he possibly could to push him away from Hibiki, so that he would become the main person that Hibiki cared about.
So then he became the only. Just like, I quit, yo.
No, he could have become the owner. He could become the owner, but he did his own thing, and he still accepted it for it.
Yes.
He trained.
Because Hibiki liked him. He liked that kid. The other kid, he was annoyed by him. I'm not even gonna lie. Hibiki was annoyed by that kid.
By the only, not Asumu, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The other kid.
Huh.
He was annoyed.
Huh. Life, bro. It's crazy.
And my friend at the ending, and to an extent most of the second half, wasn't the original vision. What that vision
I bet it wasn't.
We may never know, but I can tell that the show went in an almost completely different direction. There's a lot more action, more quote-unquote drama that wasn't there before, and characters had become flanderized. Asumu was more than just a nervous kid. He was a real person that learned from his surroundings. But hey, at least he built a doghouse because his father would do that. Asamu's father wasn't a big deal before.
Nani?
Why bring that up now with nothing
Real
to
shit.
learn from? He
Nani?
needs to be a wise
Real
mentor
shit
who,
on that.
in
What?
reality,
That
just
doesn't
went
make
with the flow and never intended to be a mentor in the first place. But wait, he is actually just as scared as Asamu, so he fights his fears as an Oni. Where the heck did that come from?
Eh?
Another fun fact, there were a couple of Oni that were originally going to be part of the main cast, and that seemed pretty awesome. Too bad they got replaced with Kirya because Asamu-kun, oh yeah, and Kirya is the worst part of the season. He's annoying, mean-spirited,
He's annoying.
and unnecessary. He didn't deserve to become an Oni. His character was so hated that when his actor was revealed for a future season, people immediately disliked him.
Damn!
Okay, so
Oh.
all this actually came
That's
from
gotta hurt.
Takatera's
That was a
outlines.
sting.
And you want to know what even sucks even more? That was the same actor that was in Den O.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was
He was the second writer.
yeah, he was what you call
So
it?
that means he got double the hate.
Damn.
That sucks.
Well, at least he's better than Deno, and he wasn't. I guess. Oh, I mean, he was well received in Deno, wasn't he? Right. He was hated in Deno too. Damn.
Did you not hear what they said?
Yeah, when he was shown in
And
Future,
other in future
Oh,
and that was
castings.
DK.
people did not like him.
oh, damn, yo, it's crazy. Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Be a little annoyed, but not as much, because I know for a fact that it would have been done better. I can see Asamu being somewhat curious about his father, but he'd take different actions and reach a different point. Hibiki's actor said in an interview that Inoue's script needed a bit of work, and I can see it. Things that were never brought up before definitely were from him. It's just... Is there anything I liked from the second half? I liked the ideas. Todoroki's and Zanke's relationship as mentor and student being fleshed out a bit more is great. The execution of the continuation was terrible. I'd be okay with Asamu having a rival if they actually learn from each other. Kirya's just a jerk from beginning to end. Oh wait, he says thanks to Asamu a couple of times. Woo, character development that gets reverted. Shuki and the inclusion of other Oni would have been great too. I was really interested in learning more about them, other than Shuki is bad. I don't need a direct answer about them. I'd rather have them do more than just get defeated time and time again. The action is pretty good, which I would have appreciated more if there was room to breathe between scenes. You can tell they really want to sell those toys. Side note, it's jarring to see the beautiful Oni suits fight inside a city. We'll probably
sell
never
those
know what
toys.
could have been. And in a way, that's in the spirit of Hibiki. Let's wrap this up with my final thought.
Nah,
What do you do?
everything.
Everything.
He ruined Space Jam.
Compass that was given to Asamu in the early
I can't believe it
episodes
made
has
that
shown
way.
up a few more times. But
can't
where
believe
did
they
it
glitched
go?
it.
What LeBron?
I can't
When
believe
it
that
was
was
given
an
to
idea.
Asamu, the scenery was beautiful.
I can't believe they
Where did
it
that
again.
go? You can probably tell that I'm very passionate
believe
about
it's
this
not butter.
season more than I've ever been before. I just care about the first half so much, and there was a lot to say outside the stories. It was a genuine masterpiece of a show. The characters, the smaller insights, the cinematography, the music, the artistic direction. I've seen people say they couldn't get into Hibiki because of how different or boring it was to them, and that's okay. I understand. My wish here is for people to understand how I feel about the show, and possibly give it another shot. Take your time just like the show does, at least until the second half. I've read that people enjoyed the second part more because it felt like a real writer show.
What?
What is a real writer show? It's a shame because I want
That
season
explains the
2
question
to be
he asked in the
different, but we
beginning.
may
They ain't
never
real.
get anything like this again
Well,
due to the poor sales.
First part was better.
In the beginning, I asked a question. What makes a Kamen Rider show a Kamen Rider show? Just like Hibiki, I won't give a direct answer, because I don't have a direct answer. All I can say is that Kamen Rider Hibiki is not only a masterpiece, but a true Kamen Rider show to me. With all that being said, I'll see you guys next time.
Ah, the show that.
Heaven with Kamen Rider Kabuto.
Oh!
If you guys can't tell, Joe really likes Kabuto.
Kabuto was that shit, man. When we get to that, oh my god!
I'm telling you right now, if you strip naked in my
Ooh, I heard that.
That had to hurt.
If you
my God.
If you strip naked in my house, I'm throwing you out of this window.
How about strip naked in the house?
God,
I'm doing that now. I'm doing that outside, my G.
You better do it outside. I ain't playing. I have neighbors.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Final thoughts. Hibiki, the first part Hibiki, perfect. Second part, trash. To me. What about y'all?
Enough with your violin before I break it over your head.
Do it.
Oh.
I like my violin. It's small.
And you know, small enough.
That was a dick joke.
That was.
You son of
In my opinion, Hibiki could have been done better. It really could have.
I don't have the ride watch for Hibiki because I it just came in order a month ago. I completely forgot about it, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can bring Kabuto on next week. Next
Oh,
time.
but he's gonna come in like a whole Beetle suit. I guarantee you.
Nah, he gonna have the tracksuit.
That too. Actually, I'm surprised you don't have the damn belt at this point.
I know because
You
of
walk around.
all the rider belts that I liked, I like that belt because it's simplistic. I know how to work it.
Not too over the top.
You just clickety click.
Just clicky click.
Literally,
It's
you
literally
click your
just
thing in the
slide
middle
in
and you flick the
Yep, slide in, flip the switch,
Press the
bing, bing,
button.
bing, bam, bam, bam.
First of all, literally. But anyway, my opinion is I liked Hibiki, the whistle thing. That's all. Well, now that I've got a more in-depth look into it, the first part, like Joe said, was a masterpiece, and the second part was kind of confusing. No, you can't become a doctor in under a year. We checked, and yeah, it's crazy, bro.
Literally the second part was like the most confusing, adding on to what he was saying, like going along with it. But all in all, yeah, it's a pretty good story. Pretty good first half, pretty good. But yeah, just a bit of confusing parts, but yeah, a good story told.
Attempted to.
I
And
just realized this without even asking. Did you even watch it? For real?
No, like what was explained, because like I've heard of the series before, but I wasn't able to like really get a grasp of it until watching that.
Oh, okay.
A little bit, yeah.
I watched like like a couple episodes, and I saw all the transformations and stuff. So
I watched the whole season from beginning to end, even the movie. The movie was fantastic. The soundtrack's fantastic.
Yeah, the movie was actually pretty good. Like I think Kabuki was actually one of my favorites, honestly, and only because of that was the best part of that movie. I don't care. Like he just transformed Kabuki, and he finished. He was just like, "Fuck!" Like, that was literally. That was like I was just like, "Yo, do it again." I kept rewinding that part. I'm like, do it again. Yeah, every time he flip his neck.
But yeah, all in all, I like Hibiki. It's just that the second part, like Marcosatsu said, it disappointed me. It disappointed a lot of people.
I'm mad they kind of just 360 and just changed everybody in the middle. That was kind of weird.
Right, that everything
Can
was
you
just
do that?
it was just too confusing.
Yeah, it looks like it was going back and forth a little bit.
I don't know.
All you gotta do is just change his hands right.
But what do you guys think down in the comments down below? Have you even heard of Hibiki? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What are some things that you like about it? If you watched it, and if you haven't, that's okay. Let me know in the comments down below. As such, this has been Master of Sakurai.
And your boy, motherfucking Grandmaster himself. Now I mean, I beat you. Oh, sorry.
And this is Master Zen signing off.
I'll do the travel mission this time because it's literally this.
Your head turns into fire. Beat
The
the
video. Cut the video before you said something that's gonna blacklist us.
We will see y'all again. Now, we ain't getting blacklisted. Alright, we're not.
beat the drum. I was gonna say, beat the drum, and then yeah.
Beat the dick. Alright, there we go.